even getting a little tired of Caitlin Clark. Not Caitlin Clark herself, but this whole thing. You know, last night, what's-her-face, Angel Reese gets tossed from a game, and good for Angel Reese, but we know how this ends. Look, it's really difficult if you're Angel Reese to open up Twitter every day and get criticized, get blasted, particularly if you're a 22-year-old woman that's already cried about it a year ago. So how long this lasts with Angel Reese being the heel that she thinks she is, we shall see. But you know what's coming, year, maybe two, there's going to be a press conference. Oh, my God, I'm depressed. Oh, my God, this is the hardest thing. You know, blah, 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 blah. We've seen it forever, but the Caitlin Clark stuff, that's not going away. Pat McAfee, I wouldn't have had no problem in the context Pat McAfee called Caitlin Clark a little biatch. I would have had no problem, white biatch. I'd have had no problem as a father. I'd have had no problem as a husband, because I know what Pat was doing. He was sticking it to all the little African-American girls that were all over Caitlin Clark calling her that word. McAfee, though, he apologized. McAfee, though, said that he got a message back from Caitlin Clark saying no big deal. Of course it's no big deal. It's only a big deal to maniacs out here that try to make something out of everything. It's really time for the woke mob to move along. Let's hear from McAfee, shall we, on his apology?
Those were not my intentions, but that's how you took it. That's on me. I do apologize. To a lot of the people, though, that were calling me racist, I had no idea that was even possible. I guess I am 0.01% Italian. I did take 23andMe, so I guess there is a little bit, maybe, and I had no idea that was good. Or sexist, that was not... The 15 minutes leading up, or disrespectful to Caitlin, the 15 minutes leading up to that, I was literally talking about how I hope that the WNBA and sports media and ex-WNBA players would show a little bit more respect to Caitlin Clark for what she has brought to the WNBA. And in the end, it was a takeaway that I was the most disrespectful person on earth to Caitlin Clark. So obviously, that's a massive... I did reach out to Caitlin Clark through the Fever PR, sent an apology, and then got a message back that she said it was all good. No blood. We move forward. And she appreciates us reaching out and apologizing. So that obviously makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, but he also said he felt like the worst human being on earth for a minute. Look, never, ever, ever feel like the worst person on earth because some idiots on Twitter and on ESPN. You know, I liked ESPN. I liked Rebecca Lobo. I liked people there. But, man, these women are assholes. I mean, that's all I can tell you. They are racist. They are jackasses, and I've had enough of them. Honest to God. Rebecca Lobo is someone I respect. Rebecca Lobo, I kind of like. Used to go back and forth about pedicures on social media back in the day, that kind of thing. And I thought she was a great player, and I thought she was a fun person. One or two times, I'm not even sure I've been around her other than maybe at a party or two, but I always thought she was great. But son of a biscuit maker, what is wrong with these women? What is wrong with these women that are analysts? Rebecca Lobo said this: it's a false narrative. So I don't think there's any jealousy or pettiness that is fueling dirty play. Now, is the attention she's getting on the defensive end unprecedented for a rookie? It is, absolutely. Are veterans being physical with her? They are, but I'm not seeing anything excessive or dirty other than the Kennedy Carter hit, and that was one of the things that was really unfortunate about it to me. Kennedy gave previously toothless arguments some fangs. Well, that's not really the bad part. She's also said that women aren't targeting Caitlin Clark. That's really dumb. I mean, I don't disagree with what Lobo said in that, but the dumb part is when she said with that Chinny, whatever the hell her name is, when she said, well, women, it's a false narrative. Men need to stay out of this. People, we don't want to hear the nonsense of you, meaning men, meaning people that are new to this, talking about women targeting Caitlin Clark. Well, we've shown it to you a million times. Angel Reese and her teammates celebrated like they'd won a WNBA championship after Kennedy Carter knocked Caitlin Clark down with the cheap shot heard round the world from behind. I mean, let's be honest. How can you sit there on national TV like Rebecca Lobo did with the other clown and say, well, we're obviously not targeting. We're tired of the nonsense that these new eyeballs are bringing in. That's what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second here. I got eyes. I've been around a little bit. I mean, look, I understand I'm not some DEI hire at ESPN, so maybe I don't have the voice that they do, but I got to tell you, if you can't tell me, or you can't tell me that Caitlin Clark was targeted, then you're lying or you're protecting, and I don't know what you're protecting. See, it's gotten to the point now, women like Rebecca Lobo and all these other women ought to just embrace it. Embrace the hate. This is the best thing in the history of the WNBA, and I will give Angel Reese credit because we're talking about Angel Reese, a player that can't play dead, a player that can't run up and down the court. I know everybody says she's a double-double machine, but damn, all you got to do is stand in a basket, and eventually you're going to be and get buckets. But it's astounding to me how these women can't do it. Welcome. We're thrilled to have all these new people, Rebecca Lobo said. But we don't want all of their other nonsense. This is Rebecca Lobo talking to Chimichanga or whatever the hell her name is. This is a woman saying, after begging for attention for this league, they've lost money. We don't want others' nonsense. Well, you're old, you're retired, shut up. Period. Your era did not bring money to the league. Great players. Fantastic. I'm just saying, you didn't do it. Caitlin Clark is. She is. So embrace the damn thing. We don't want, it's really frustrating. The first couple of weeks, listen to this narrative that people are targeting Caitlin Clark. Now listen to this. No, it's not true. And those of us who have been in this game for a long time and watching it, no, it's not true. Of course it is. All you need to do, I'm not even talking about the rookie stuff. All you need to do is see Angel Reese and her teammates celebrating this little mini micro thug, Kennedy Carter, for knocking Caitlin Clark on her ass. You're telling me they're not targeting? Honest to God, I don't know how. Every time I watch these women that are former players, I say to myself, my God, it had to be easy to be a great woman player because these people are morons. They're like Joe Biden. I'm going to secure the border. Don't believe what I've seen. Believe what I tell you. That's what Rebecca Lobo's doing. Don't believe what you actually saw of a team celebrating an illegal, ridiculous, cheap-shotting hit. Believe what I'm telling you because, well, I've been around this game a long time. What? I've been around this game longer than Rebecca Lobo's been alive. And I can tell you, absolutely, these women, at least that team, were targeting Caitlin Clark. And if I don't understand why it's so bad for these women to say it. Maybe they're afraid of being called racist. I guarantee you that's part of it. Because when you look at the diversity, there is no diversity. It's all African-American. Hell, they don't even bring Rebecca Lobo in to talk about the WNBA. They got Chimmy, whatever the hell her name is. No, it's absurd. It's absurd to me. And it kind of pisses me off because ESPN, I mean, damn, I can't even go there anymore and get a reasonable conversation. Can't. Dan Patrick chimed in on his show. Here's from Dan Patrick.
But there's nothing wrong with admitting that you watch a sport because of one singular person. People watched golf because of Tiger. Right? You tuned in. No matter what event Tiger was playing, you were going to watch. They're still trying to capitalize on him. Playing in the U.S. Open. NBC and Peacock, their graphic has Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and then who's looming larger on the screen but Tiger. So they're still trying to squeeze everything they can out of Tiger. When Gretzky got to the L.A. Kings, Messi goes to the MLS. Maybe Connor McDavid with Edmonton. Like you're trying to, there's somebody you may tune in to watch, and then maybe if you watch, then maybe you appreciate what you're seeing. WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. Angel Reese has played a role in this, and she's a very good player. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA, may not care about basketball. She is a social media star, and she has capitalized on that. And maybe she embraces being the villain. But make no mistake about it, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened in that game.
It ain't that hard. It ain't that deep. It ain't always about, like, I was on Laura Ingram's show, and, you know, she asked me, does race play a part? And I said, yes, but there's a lot of other things. Women don't like other women to be successful in sports. I mean, they can all sit there and lie, but they don't. Women in broadcasting. Doug Gottlieb and I were talking about this the other day. They don't want other women. Man, it's cutthroat with these women. I've been around them. Look, at the end of the day, it's okay to say I watch women's tennis because of Serena Williams. I'll tell you this. If Serena Williams ain't playing, I wouldn't watch it. If Martina Navratilova wasn't playing against Chris Everett, I wouldn't watch it. Hey, these tennis players, they hit the ball a million miles an hour, but you better give me Federer, Djokic, or Nadal, or hell with it. Maybe there's another guy I can always forget. But anyway, of course. But these women at ESPN are so stupid they can't figure that out. Oh, my God, it's terrible. Oh, my God, it's about everyone. No, it's not. No one gives a rat's ass about what Angel Reese does if there were no Caitlin Clark. It's simple. I don't know why it's so difficult. This is now the time to embrace it. Bob Costas chimed in on this. Bob Costas had a strong take as to why WNBA player Alyssa Thomas' flagrant foul on Angel Reese last week received less coverage than Kennedy Carter's on Caitlin Clark's this weekend. It's because it's black on black incident. No, it's not. Go ahead, play it.
To your earlier point, there was an incident recently. Alyssa Thomas, who happens to be African-American, grabbed Angel Reese by the throat and threw her to the floor. Flagrant 2, ejected from the game. The reason why that doesn't spark as much conversation isn't just that Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than Alyssa Thomas. It's because it's a black-on-black incident.
Wow.
And you don't have that dynamic that people can comment on, yes, but also exaggerate and make the entire story sometimes.
And also, no
that
one
is really
cares.
that is between
no
the
one
lines.
cared
what's going
about
on
the
here.
WNBA when women of a certain color were beating up and bruising each other because it's been happening since the league's inception. We have this star, this person that people love. They want to protect her. So now the new fans and the new analysts and the new people have so much to say.
Well, let's be honest. Nobody cares about Angel Reese. Honest to God. I mean, there's your proof. This is Caitlin Clark's league. No one gives a rat's ass if two women knock each other down in the middle of a game. And if Bob Costas and these women, I mean, look, if they understood hoops at all, which apparently they don't, there's a hell of a difference between running into somebody, knocking her on her ass when the ball's out of bounds and two people going at a rebound, playing hard. I've said it forever. If this was about something that happened in a game during the play that got called a double technical and the girl got thrown out, I'd be cool with it. But damn, Costas just made our point. Nobody cares about Angel Reese. Now, you can say it's because she's black. Of course these two are going to do it. Carrie Champion got nothing else. She might be the only African-American female ever fired from ESPN. I mean, you know how hard that is in this world? Please. But the truth of the matter is, you just made the point we're all making. You just made the point. This is literally Caitlin Clark's league, and the only reason people are watching, the only reason people care, is because of Caitlin Clark. Don't give a damn if two African-American women or two white women or one each are beating the hell out of each other for the last 20 years. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. And it isn't because Caitlin Clark's white. Her game resonates. It does. And if that pisses you off, Carrie Champion or Bob Costas or whomever, God bless you. Good for you. But you just made the point we've been making. Nobody, and I mean nobody, gives a rat's ass about anybody in the WNBA, nor have they for 27 years. Now they do. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Not a black on black thing. That could be, look, you could have two white women, and I'm sure there has been this year, or a white and a black woman, knock the living hell out of each other. And guess what? No one would care. Unless it's Caitlin Clark. It's amazing how stupid this is. I get it. We're all supposed to pander. I get it. We're all supposed to stand, jump up and down, stand on our heads, scream crap snowballs, and say, oh, man, racism. Nah, that's crap. The racism's the other way. They hate little white girl. They hate little white straight girl. And I tell you what, they hate the attention. Jealousy is a massive part of it. Races, maybe. But I'll tell you this, man. Angel Reese and some woman that we don't know who the hell it is getting a double technical, that could happen tomorrow. That could happen 27 years ago. Today, it don't matter. Nobody cares. Period. Thank you all for making the point. Stephen A. Smith had to walk back because he caught hell, and Stephen A. Smith does this. He's walking back his comments he made on First Take in regards to making female colleagues famous, saying he'll always fight for them instead of putting them in a bad place. This is why they don't have serious people at ESPN. One little comment by someone named Monica McNutt sent Stephen A. Smith into a tailspin. See, this tells me Stephen A. Smith is and never was a basketball player. Because as a basketball player, you've got to have quick comebacks. So Monica McNutt says, respectfully, and you're my guy, and blah, 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 you could have been talking about the WNBA 3 years ago. And if Smith had any basketball acumen, he'd have said, no, I wouldn't have, because it wasn't interesting 3 years ago. But he couldn't do it. He started crying. He went on like a little bitch on his podcast. And he got everybody together to have an African-American kumbaya. And that's what it was. There was no white people there. They didn't have McAfee on a screen somewhere. That's all this is. So next thing you know, here's Stephen A. Smith.
Biggest point is this. Listen, you ain't going to never hear me say, I made anybody. Like you said, you made by God. I ain't make anybody. What I will applaud myself for doing is making sure that people know that I fight for y'all. It's not me bragging about it. It's me saying there's warfare, and I embrace it. I fight for Molly every day. I fight for Janae every day. I fight for Eminem every day. The list goes on and on. I was raised by 5 women, for crying out loud. I know what the fight is. People sometimes don't have an idea what you're doing behind the scenes when you're dealing with corporate America and you got so much stuff to deal with. You're saying, yo, there's warfare going on. Some people are on the front lines. Others chirp about being there, and then they go hide. But they got the work. They the ones that squeak the loudest. That's the stuff that irritates me. And so I make sure to let everybody know it ain't bragging. It's that it's a war out here.
Really? It's a war. I mean, really, it's a war. Okay, it's a war. I mean, one of the guys on the panel punched a woman right in the head, right in the face, and he's on the panel. What's the war? What's the war? And give me the victim stuff, but it ain't no war. In the post-George Floyd era, you get whatever you want. I mean, what are you talking to? Look, I literally couldn't listen to that. It's a war. That's just total garbage. I'm sorry, it is. I mean, it's the victimhood. We get it. We got to listen to it. We got to go, all right. Every white guy's got to be afraid. But this is total crap. This is total crap. He wasn't smart enough. He's smart, but he wasn't baller enough to have a comeback. And then he went and cried. And now what is he talking about? Squeaky wheel? Look, Stephen A. Smith gets anything he wants. There is nobody that's going to say no because, like Bomani Jones, who failed at everything but kept getting jobs at ESPN, the only thing that the executives in Building 4 at ESPN are afraid of is being called a racist. That's it. And they're scared to death of Chinny, whatever. Why do you think they put these people on? Why do you think they put women on the NBA set? You don't think Tim Legler, a white middle-aged guy, brings more to the table than that Chinny lady or Will Bond or Stephen A. Smith when it comes to breaking down a game and being interesting? It's not even close. But why don't you think they put Tim Legler on? Oh, I don't know. Why is Tim Legler basically their only white NBA analyst? Oh, I don't know. Why do you think Doris Burke's on there? Because she's horrible. When I say horrible, there is no way that they can justify getting rid of Van Gundy and Mark Jackson and keeping her on there. Why do you think that is? You think it's merit? Of course it's not. And yet it's almost an Obama-like, well, it is, an Obama-like, hey, look, let's not talk about what's real. Let's only talk about what I have to say. It's total crap. I got friends all over ESPN, and they just laugh at this stuff. They just laugh. When Stephen A. Smith and all these analysts, African-American analysts, go victim, they just laugh. They're like, are you crazy? But, hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works. But, damn, a dude arrested for punching a woman, Big Perk, is sitting there with a bunch of women pontificating about McAfee and Smith and others not standing up for women. Hey, man, I may say the wrong thing on a show about a woman analyst or ESPN's women or the WNBA, but I'm never going to punch one. I don't give a damn. Oh, man, it's the funniest stuff. It's the wokest stuff. It's the victim stuff. It is the most ridiculous stuff ever. Ever. Oh, man, I guess we're going to have the Stephen A. Smith hour. Jonathan Papelbon got into a feud with Stephen A. Smith. He reignited it. Now he's taking a shot at Christopher Mad Dog Russo. If you've ever heard Christopher Mad Dog Russo, and I listen to him a lot coming home from my 3 o'clock show, or my noon show, he's starting his show at 3, and he always talks about baseball. You really can't find too many places other than big cities, Chicago, New York, maybe Boston, where you talk about baseball. Baseball is like the snooze fest. It's like what's becoming of victimhood. You're just like, all right, enough. But Papelbon is not happy. Papelbon is not happy over the coverage of Major League Baseball, and specifically comments that Mike Trout misses too many games. Stephen A. Smith's right. Mike Trout misses too many games. Here's the thing, though. Don't talk S on our game, and don't try to say this BS or this and that when you don't really know. I want what's good for the game. All right, so what? So like this Paul Skeens guy, I'm more excited about that kid than ever because our game needs it. I find it crazy that Ohtani didn't know about the money, but that's old news. It's always old news with athletes, white or black. Yeah, that's in the past. Only God can judge me. I'm a man. I'm moving forward. What? What do you mean? He's a baseball guy. All right. Now, hold on. But that's old news. We need him. This is great for our game. And that is what I want. I feel like I took enough from the game, so now I can give back and make it as good as I can. Well, that's noble. It's bullshit, but it's noble. I mean, what are you talking about? Okay, you took stuff from the game. So now because you want to make the game greater or whatever, people can't criticize the game. Hey, dummy. Hey, Papelbon, haven't you noticed that in the WNBA, all this chatter that I'm doing and others are doing and blah, 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 haven't you noticed that it's making the game grow, you moron? Let's be honest here. Just because someone criticizes a game doesn't mean they don't have the same goal as you. In fact, no, they don't have the same goal as you. No broadcaster sits there and goes, you know what, I think I'm going to grow the game today. What? What are you talking about? As a broadcaster, well, I'm an entertainer, as you can tell. I have the looks. I got the physique, of course, the mouth, But as an entertainer, I don't give a rat's ass about growing the game. I give a rat's ass to reacting to how the game goes. Same thing in the WNBA. I don't give a rat's ass about growing the WNBA. I react to the game, the coverage, and what's going on with the game. But apparently Christopher Russo is supposed to help grow the game because Jonathan Papelbon says so. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Whenever I hear like, hey, man, you need a doobie, man. I just get a kick out of it. To me, and to be totally honest with you, the other guy, Mad Dog, pissed me off a little bit even more. It's a baseball guy. Dude, have a backbone. Stand up for the game that you've been covering for 40 years or whatever you want to act like. So when he said that, I was like, come on, man, you should have rebutted him and told him he was an idiot. But he just kind of let him go, and I don't know how much he's getting paid. Mad Dog pisses me off, too. I got nothing for him anymore. Well, that'll crush Mad Dog. I mean, seriously, that'll crush Christopher Russo. You got to get Russo on the show. I love that guy. I think I got his number somewhere. But anyway, I love Mad Dog. But, I woke up today, and Jonathan Papelbon doesn't like me. It's like me. If I were Rebecca Lobo, I'd be like, I woke up today, and Dan Dakich doesn't like me. Okay, who cares? What's next? You know what I mean? But that's just me. But anyway, damn. What's a guy supposed to do? Can you tell me? Like, you're supposed to be what? An ambassador for the game? They hire those guys. Hell, Ryan Sandberg, until his cancer diagnosis, was an ambassador for the Cubs. Bob Love, my favorite all-time basketball player, number 10 for the Chicago Bulls, he was an ambassador for the Bulls. I mean, they hire guys to be ambassadors. Media guys don't have to be ambassadors. If the game sucks, the game sucks. If the game's great, the game's great. A player sucks, it sucks. A player's being cheap, a player's being stupid, you say it. What the hell? But apparently Jonathan Papelbon thinks we're all supposed to grow the game like him. All right, well, you go, son. You go. Oh, poor Scotty Scheffler. All you do is stop the car. That's all you had to do. Stop. All right. I didn't know it was a cop, and he had a yellow jacket, and shut up. Scotty Scheffler says it was traumatic. It'll always stick with it. Well, I would think. He jokes about his mugshot and explains that he was ready to file a lawsuit against the Louisville police, but claims he didn't want the citizens of Louisville to have to pay for the actions of their police department. Just stop the car. Here's Scheffler.
When did you find out that the charges would be dropped, and was it a relief, or had you kind of already moved past it?
Man, I thought you were going to ask about golf.
No, you didn't.
When did I find out the charges were going to be dropped? I had a good idea at the end of the week at Colonial that they were going to be dropped. Obviously, we had a lot of evidence on our side. We needed to let the legal process play out at that point. But towards the end of the week at Colonial, I think my lawyer used the term like it went from like a 1 foot putt to it's on the lip kind of thing. And then, nothing's obviously official until it becomes really official. But I think Friday afternoon it was pretty official in our mind. They just needed to meet with the judge to go over details and stuff like that. And then, but yeah, I'd say received news towards the end of the week.
And then was it a relief, or had you kind of already moved past it?
I mean, no, I definitely hadn't moved past it. And, I would say that I still, wouldn't have 100% moved past it because, the charges are dropped, but I still now it's almost more appropriate for people to ask me about it and ask me about the situation. And to be honest with you, it's not something that I love reliving just because it was fairly traumatic for me being arrested going into the golf course. And so it's not something that I love talking about, and it's something that I'm hoping to move past. But when the charges are dropped, that's kind of only the beginning of kind of getting past it, if that makes sense. So kind of, operating through that now. And it was definitely a bit of a relief, but not total relief, because that's something that'll always, I think, kind of stick with me. That mugshot I'm sure is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I mean, it is. It's a good answer, but stop the car. Oh, Dakich, he did stop the car. You don't know what he did earlier. You can't see it. It's blocked by a bus. Just shut up. But anyway, I mean, seriously, like, I try to make life easy. I told you this before. Dick Vermeil, the Super Bowl winning coach, came to speak to us at Indiana. And one of the things he said was, don't complicate winning. So we put that, Coach and I put that as a sign on our wall. And I've always kind of thought about that and kind of tried to live by it. Like, first, let's talk about your personal life. Don't complicate your personal life. Don't have affairs. Don't cheat. Don't steal. What are you doing? Don't complicate to where you got to wake up in the morning and go, oh, man, the Fed's here. Oh, man, is my wife checking the phone? I mean, what are you doing? Don't complicate it. I mean, yeah, live your life, do stupid things, but don't complicate it. And then the second thing is in your other part of your life, don't complicate. Stop the car. Think about how complex this got for everybody. Scheffler's talking about filing a lawsuit. Some guy may get fired on the police department. I mean, what are you doing? If you just go slow, understand it's a difficult situation, stop for everyone and not think of only yourself, then maybe you didn't have all this problem. Maybe the cop acted like a jackass, but no one can tell me, other than to call me an idiot or whatever, what pissed the cop off so bad that he came up to the car where we saw him finally stop the car. Somebody tell me. Nobody has been able to tell me except, Dakich, you suck, you're an idiot. Yeah, I know. I swallow, by the way, more than suck. I'm a pro. But anyway, let's go. That's it. Don't complicate your life. Stop the car. Cop says stop, stop. Put your hands right here. Hello, sir. Don't complicate. Again, we'll see. Maybe the cop was a jackass. C.J. Stroud says Matt Stafford could have 3 or 4 rings if he had been in Green Bay. See, here's the deal. Guy's been in the league 3 minutes, and now he's an expert on all these things. If you gave Matt Stafford a chance like Aaron Rodgers had, I guarantee you. What are you, 10? I guarantee you he might have more rings for sure. What is it about these idiots? Like, I want to like C.J. Stroud. Urban tells me he's one of the great kids going. Urban's son coached him at Ohio State. But what is it? Like, everybody's an expert. So you got this young rookie who's been in the league 5 minutes, not even a year yet, and he's commenting and taking a swing at Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't get it. And we listen to him. No, I don't listen to him. I call them what they are, dumbasses, entitled dumbasses. Here's Stroud.
Stafford, dog.
He is a dog.
No, you don't understand, bro. You saying that. That's all I watch. I don't watch nobody else. I watch Mahomes at times because Mahomes does some stuff that, like, you can't coach. Stafford, dog, he will beat you with the same thing every time. All that no-lick stuff, I got that from bruh. Like, look, that's one of my big, like, I'm a fan of his, like.
If
when
he's
I go to
a great
LA,
quarterback.
I be trying to find, bro.
But
Like, we
it's
got
a
the same
level to
trainers. I
greatness.
be trying to, like,
That's
go to
all
where
I'm
they working
saying.
out and just watch.
That's all I'm
He
saying.
elite, dog.
Like Charles Barkley.
If you, hold on. If you give Matthew Stafford a chance like Aaron Rodgers, I guarantee he might have had more rings, for sure. I think Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford had more rings than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he could have another ring probably.
I'd say he had like 3, 4.
He might. It's possible.
Bro.
He good.
When you
But what
talking
I'm
about
saying is
tough
it's
as
levels
nails,
of
dog.
greatness.
I just got dumber. You just got dumber. I mean, I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Like, why the shot at Rodgers when you, C.J. Stroud, haven't done jack shit? I mean, you had a nice year. All right. I mean, there are a lot of quarterbacks had nice years. I mean, Derek Anderson was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and back in the day when Derek Anderson was playing for the Cleveland Browns, Derek Anderson's team was on Monday Night Football going back to 07 or whatever it was, and they couldn't win nothing after Derek Anderson had a nice year. So you know the name Scott Mitchell? I don't know. Matt Flynn? I hope you're great because, as I said, Urban told me he's a great kid. But to sit there, I don't care if guys sit around and say, oh, he'd have 3 or 4 rings, or you should, whatever. But why the shot at Aaron Rodgers? It's just incredibly stupid, and I'm here for it. I do. I love it. It's part of the things that make sports great is those of us that are dumb. Well, why are we dumb? Well, I mean, we're in sports. I mean, if we were smart, we'd be nuclear physicists. We'd be doing something of importance. Whether it's playing or being an entertainer in the sports field or being a coach, we're all stupid. You know, I told my son the other day, look, you're a Dakich. You can't do anything else. But one of the most fun things about sports is conversations like that. But, man, taking a swing at Aaron Rodgers, that just seems dumb. I mean, dumb. Hey, thanks for being here. If you're an OutKick fan, you know we give it to you straight. Here on Don't At Me, we have a ton of fun, more content right here. And while you're at it, sack the hell up and be sure to hit that subscribe button now.